Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, I remember a conversation I had with Abel Sanchez, Gennady Golovkin's trainer, and Sullivan Barrera's trainer, a while ago. This was like, I guess, I don't even remember. Was it the beginning of 2015? Whenever it was before Al Haymon announced the PBC series. Okay, so maybe that was the beginning, I don't know. But anyway, I was talking to Abel Sanchez. Now, this most likely won't come as a surprise to you guys, but Abel Sanchez was criticizing Al Haymon. And this is what he said to me. I'll never forget it. He said, Dante, how is a man who has that many fighters signed to his stable? He was like, the guy has over 120 fighters plus? Remember, this is before the PBC series. He says, how is he going to get dates for all of these fighters? He said, it's impossible. It's impossible, and he kind of chuckled. He said, all of these fighters are going to end up sitting on the shelves because you cannot get dates for that many fighters. He didn't sign too many fighters is what Abel Sanchez told me, or that's what he was telling me. Fast forward to 2016, and now Abel Sanchez has his answer. After signing deals with ESPN, Fox Sports, NBC, CBS, Bounce TV, Spike TV, and I'm just naming a couple. I haven't even named them all. Oh yeah, and Al Haymon is making the Danny Garcia versus Robert Guerrero fight's debut on Fox TV, on primetime national television. You see, this just goes to show you it's easy to criticize and say a lot of stuff when you're on the outside looking in. It's easy for you to just say, well, how is that possible? How can he do that? Impossible. There's no way he can do that. Abel Sanchez underestimated the intelligence of a Harvard graduate when it comes to Al Haymon, along with many other decafs in the sport of boxing. In this video, I want to talk about the evolution and the progression of Al Haymon in the PBC series versus Top Rank and Golden Boy Promotions. 2016, Al Haymon has come out the blocks quick, already in the lead, with the announcement of one of the biggest fights that can be made this year, Keith Thurman versus Shawn Porter. This past weekend, what we thought was just going to be a fight turned out to be an event when it comes to Deontay Wilder versus Arthur Spilka. When is the last time you've seen a heavyweight title fight with Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Alexander Povetkin flying all the way out here from Russia, Tyson Fury flying all the way out here from the UK, when there was another UK fighter that was fighting the same day, David Haye? All of these fighters, they flew to Brooklyn, New York to watch the first heavyweight title match in over 115 years. There was a build-up before the fight. There was drama and suspense during the fight. And then there was even better drama, WWE type of drama, after the fight. That's what makes an event. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention the most important part. The fight ended in a one-punch knockout, a la Pacquiao versus Ricky Hatton, to really top off the night. And then when Tyson Fury got in the ring, that just made the night perfect. That, no doubt about it, was one of the biggest highlights of the night next to the actual knockout. You know, I really love cats like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. I love the fact that they show this type of charismatic personality that you don't see too often in the sport of boxing. We need more people like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder in the sport of boxing. That's the reason why that fight is going to be huge. And it just might be another Al Haymon fight that we're going to get in 2016. Now, if some of you fans wanted to criticize the fact that Deontay Wilder was fighting against Arthur Spilka, who, no doubt about it, wasn't a Povetkin or a Tyson Fury, now Deontay Wilder is in negotiations to fight against Povetkin. So let's just go over what we've seen so far since the beginning of 2016. We've seen one of the biggest heavyweight events, Wilder versus Spilka. We just seen another great PBC card yesterday on Fox Sports. The main event was Jamal James versus Javier Molina. And opening up is another good prospect, David Benavidez, which is Jose Benavidez's younger brother. And now, this week, Al Haymon is presenting Danny Garcia versus Robert Guerrero on Fox TV. Prime time. And if the main event isn't good enough, you have Amir Mansour going against the undefeated Dominic Breazeale, and you have Sammy Vasquez going against Aaron Martinez. 3 stacked fight cards within 1 week. From last Saturday to this Saturday. All Al Haymon cards. And this is just the first month of 2016. Are you serious? So one more time. It's already official that we have Keith Thurman versus Shawn Porter. That's going to be on CBS TV. Not Showtime, not pay-per-view, not HBO. It's going to be on CBS. That fight is already official. We have Deontay Wilder negotiating with Alexander Povetkin. I want to ask you guys a question. Can you guys name me one guaranteed fight that's already a done deal? You know, like how Thurman and Porter is? Can you name me one fight through Golden Boy Promotions or Top Rank that's already a done deal that's bigger than Keith Thurman versus Shawn Porter? Can you name me one? And on top of that, on primetime TV. Now, that's just making it too hard for you when I throw that primetime TV up in there, right? Listen, I'm going to ask you guys this question again. For the small percentage of decafs who say, I don't know why, I just don't like that Al Haymon. Because people have actually said that in the comment section. I don't know why, I just don't like him. I just don't like him, right? Which we know what time it is when someone says something that dumb. But anyway, for the small percentage of decafs that say stuff like that, say, you know, all he does is puts on mismatches and this and that, and it ain't going to last, you know, praying for Al Haymon's downfall, I want to ask you decafs this single question. Tell us what fights you want to see within the PBC series, within Al Haymon Promotions, or whatever you want to call it. You tell us which fights you want to see. You see, it'll be a very small percentage of people that will answer that question. The majority of people, they won't answer that question. You know why? Because they don't want Al Haymon to succeed. So they're not going to tell you that. Because if they tell you that, and then Al Haymon puts on that fight, then you're like, God damn it, now I got to come up with another excuse why I hate this motherfucker. And then eventually you're going to run out of excuses. That's how hate works. I want you guys to understand this as well. For you guys that really don't know what time it is, I want you to pay attention to what's going on in the sport of boxing, in life in general, you notice it's always the person on the coincidental list that has the most power, that is the most successful, that receives the most hate, right? Case in point, 50 Cent versus Al Haymon. Not too many people are hating on 50 Cent right now. You don't hear too many people in the comment section saying, oh, fuck 50 Cent, this and that, and this and that. Because 50 Cent is not doing as well as Al Haymon is doing. See, it's supposed to be the more successful you are, the more respected and praised you are. That's how it is for everyone else. But when you're on a coincidental list, it is the contrary. The more successful you are, the more hated you are. If Al Haymon wasn't doing good right now, people would not care. It's the fact that he's a threat. That's why they care. I mean, it's the same thing with my boxing channel. Because I reach so many people with my message, I'm one of the top people on the coincidental list. Right? But if you have some small channel that's putting the same message out there that I'm putting out, they don't really care because that person is not really that much of a threat to them. That is how this works. They don't disagree with you. They want to shut you up. This is what they did in the Jim Crow era. This is what they're doing today. They don't want to disagree with you because they can't disagree with you because they're saying everything you're saying is making sense. I just don't want you putting that truth out there. I just want you to shut up. You know, when the President of the United States, Barack Obama, won his first election, he surprised a lot of people by getting the young vote and so many votes they didn't expect him to get. So when Obama ran for his second term, you know what his detractors tried to do? They tried to suppress the vote. Instead of just trying to put out a better message than Barack Obama and tell people what they disagree with, they tried to make it difficult for people to even vote. The majority of people who would vote for the president, they tried to make it difficult for them to vote. In other words, they tried to shut them up. This is what they do in the sport of boxing. Let me get back to this fight that just took place yesterday. Main event, Jamal James versus Javier Molina. The card opened up with David Benavidez going against some guy named Cobbs. I bring this up because just the main event alone, once again on free TV, on Fox Sports 1, you guys notice when we got free TV type of fights before, like when Oscar De La Hoya, when he puts on his fight cards, when Top Rank Bob Arum, when he puts on his fight cards, when ESPN used to do Friday night fights, if you guys notice, the majority of the main events were always mismatches. I mean, now when it comes to ESPN, every now and then they would have a good competitive match. But they were always mismatches.